Today we are diving deep into Eckhart Tolle's transformative book, The Power of Now. This book offers life-changing insights on how to live in the present and free yourself from the mental traps that often hold us back. If you ever struggled with anxiety, regret, or the constant chatter of your mind, this video will help you understand the root causes and show you how to live more peacefully. Let's dive into the 5 core ideas from The Power of Now and how they can transform your life. And The Power of Now, Tolle identifies the ego at the root of much of our suffering. The ego is not just our sense of self. It's a false identity created by our mind. It feeds off of our thoughts, emotions, and memories. The ego constantly needs to validate itself through comparisons, judgments, and attachments to external things, like success, status, or even problems. It wants to feel superior or inferior, but never at peace. Tolle points out that the ego thrives on time, particularly the past and the future. It either drags us into reliving past experiences or worries about what's to come. This constant mental noise blocks us from experiencing the peace and clarity of the present moment. Tolle teaches that you are not your thoughts, and by observing your thoughts without identifying with them, you begin to weaken the ego's grip. The key is to become a witness to your mind, watching it from a distance. This practice reveals that your true self is the awareness behind those thoughts. Tolle emphasizes that the ego is not just a personal issue, but a collective one. Society encourages ego-driven living, fueling endless competition and conflict. By recognizing how the ego operates in your own life, you can begin to dissolve its power and experience greater freedom. The most profound teaching on the power of now is the concept of presence, which is simply the practice of being fully engaged in the current moment. Tolle argues that true happiness and peace can only be found in the now. But why is it too difficult to stay present? The mind is constantly distracted, either regretting the past or anticipating the future. The challenge is to realize that both the past and future are illusions. They don't exist outside of our thoughts. When you bring your full awareness to the present, everything changes. Even everyday activities like washing dishes, walking, can really become deeply fulfilling experiences when you are fully present. Tolle calls this entering the now, where time dissolves and you experience a sense of timelessness and connection with life itself. Presence isn't just about paying attention. It's about quieting the mind and realizing that your life is happening now. When we give our full attention to the present, we access an intelligence deeper than thought. This is what Tolle refers to as being, which is a state of awareness beyond the thinking mind. Also, one of the more unique concepts in The Power of Now is the pain body. This is the emotional energy we carry from past trauma, emotional pain, and unresolved issues. For some people, the pain body may be dormant for a long time, but it can easily be triggered by certain events, causing us to overreact or act irrationally. The pain body thrives on negative emotions such as anger, resentment, and sadness. And it loves to keep us in a cycle of suffering. Tolle explains that the pain body is a separate entity from who we really are. But most of us unconsciously identify with it. When we recognize the pain body in action, whether in ourselves or others, we can begin to separate from it. This is done through presence. By being present and observing the pain body as it arises, we can break its cycle and avoid being pulled into its drama. Tolle warns that the pain body feeds on negativity and can be destructive if not recognized. By staying present, you can observe when the pain body is triggered and choose not to engage with it. This creates space for healing and transformation. And the power of now, Tolle introduced the idea that time, as we commonly understand it, is an illusion. The mind creates time by dwelling on the past and projecting into the future. But neither actually exists outside the present moment. The past is merely a collection of memories, and the future is a mental projection. Both distract us from living fully in the now. This doesn't mean that Tolle dismisses practical time like planning for the future, but he encourages us to recognize when our mind is using time as a way to escape the present. The more we cling to past regrets or future anxieties, the more we lose touch with reality. By focusing on the now, we let go for the need of time-based thinking and start experiencing a deeper sense of peace. Tolle argues that time creates suffering because it takes us out of present. By constantly thinking about what might happen or what has already happened, we miss the richness of the present. To truly live, we must let go. We must let go of time and focus on the present moment. The final key concept in the power of now is surrender. Surrendering, according to Tolle, does not mean giving up or being passive. Instead, it means accepting each moment as it is without resistance. Resistance to what is creates suffering because we mentally fight against reality. Surrender, on the other hand, means embracing the present moment, regardless of whether it's pleasant or challenging. When we surrender to the present, we access a sense of inner peace and flow. This doesn't mean we stop taking action. It simply means that our actions come from a place of clarity and acceptance, rather than frustration or resistance. When we let go of the need to control outcomes, we begin to trust life's natural unfolding and respond more intelligently to challenges. Tolle suggested that surrender is the gateway to real change. By accepting the present moment, you dissolve resistance, which often blocks creative solutions from arising. In this state, you can navigate challenges more effectively because you are acting from a place of presence rather than emotional reactivity. To wrap things up, the power of now teaches us that the path to peace, freedom, and happiness lies in living fully in the present. By recognizing the ego's tricks, becoming more present, observing the pain body, letting go of time, and surrendering to what is, we can experience a profound shift in how we live our lives. My advice to myself and to you is to put all what we talked about today into practice and start seeing the difference.